Live from News 7 KWWL, we've got you covered. This is KWWL News at 10.
With the 8th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select T.J. Hockenson. The Denver Broncos select Noah Fant, tight end, Iowa.
What a history-making night for the Iowa Hawkeye football program and its great string of tight ends over the years. T.J. Hockenson, number 8 overall, and this man, Noah Fant, the 20th pick tonight in the NFL Draft from Nashville, Tennessee. And good evening, everyone. I'm Ron Steele.
And I'm Abby Turpin. Iowa sophomore tight end T.J. Hockenson, yes, is headed to the Motor City. And the
Hawkeyes' Noah Fant is headed to the Mile High city of Denver. Let's send it over right now to sports director Rick Coleman.
Well, never before have we ever had two tight ends from the same school in the same year have been drafted in the first round of the NFL draft, and it happened tonight. A year ago, few people even knew anything about T.J. Hockenson, but the Iowa Hawkeye coaches certainly knew what they had in the tight end from small Sheraton, Iowa. And tonight, the NFL dream coming true for the 6'4", 250-pound redshirt sophomore who led the Hawkeyes with 46 receptions, 717 yards, 6 touchdowns. And what a Cinderella story coming all the way out of high school in Sheraton, Iowa. TJ received only 2 scholarship offers from the Iowa Hawkeyes and Iowa State. This season, he was an All-American and John Mackey Award winner. Now, Hockenson impressed the NFL scouts with his size, strength, blocking, and receiving skills. And now has been rewarded as a first-round selection in tonight's NFL draft, and that will be worth millions of dollars with the Lions. And now Noah Fant had to wait a little longer, about 12 selections, but the Denver Broncos took him 20th overall in the first round. Fant, also an All-American this past season, led all tight ends in the country with 11 touchdowns 2 years ago. T.J. Hockenson, considered to be the most complete tight end in the draft. His combination of blocking and receiving skills, while Fant is incredibly athletic, running the fastest 40 time at the NFL Draft Combine. Now, more on the draft coming up in sports. What a night, Ron and Abby.
All right, Rick, thank you very much. Now, by my count, T.J. Hockenson and Noah Fant become the 22nd and 23rd Hawkeye football stars to be drafted in the first round in the history of the draft. And by the way, for T.J. Hockenson, he's the 3rd Hawkeye drafted by the Detroit Lions in the first round. If you go way back, they drafted the great Alex Karras in 1959, and of course, Hawkeye All-American quarterback Chuck Long in the 1986 draft. In fact, Chuck was drafted 12th overall. We'll have more from Rick coming up on a historic night for the Hawkeye football program a little bit later tonight in sports.
Yeah, it certainly is. Very exciting. Let's turn our attention now very quickly to the weather as we take a look at some video from earlier today. Of course, there was some rain falling down in Cedar Rapids for a time.
And Storm Track 7 Chief Meteorologist Mark Schnackenberg back in our forecast center right now with what's ahead for the weekend. Perhaps going to be a little interesting, right?
Yeah, it will be, especially as we get into the day on Saturday. Tomorrow, though, it looks to be a pretty nice day. We ended the day with some sunshine in most locations. The rain that you saw in the video there and on the radar there, it is only about 1/10 of an inch in most locations. We'll show you the numbers here in a second, but you can see the sky is clear across eastern Iowa and really much of the state, and that's the way it's going to remain as we head through the overnight hours. As for our temperatures, we're in the 40s and low 50s at this hour. 50s off to our west. Most locations in eastern Iowa are in the 40s. Now, the wind has lightened up just a bit, and as we head into the day tomorrow, it is going to be a real breezy day where wind gusts could be up around 30 miles an hour throughout the day. Then as the sun sets, the wind becomes very light. All is quiet tomorrow when it comes to any precipitation falling, but that could be a different story on Saturday. We'll talk more detail on that in just a bit.
Hey, Mark, thank you very much. You know, boy, it's been a really rough 24 hours across sections of the Deep South.
Yeah, driving rains, hail, and in some areas, tornadoes, leaving behind a path of destruction. A string of thunderstorms flooding parts of Texas and Louisiana, spawning some tornadoes, ripping apart communities, and also claiming at least 5 lives. From the air, you can also see the path of a twister that cut through Ruston, Louisiana. And this cell phone video right there captured a tornado near College Station, Texas. Across the strike zone, power lines and roadway signs tipped at their base.
I thought it was the end of the world. That's literally what I thought it was, the end of the world.
It was terrifying. It was, I couldn't believe it was really happening.
Now, as the cleanup and recovery begins, the storm system continues its march toward the northeast. Heavy rains have also postponed the start of Jazz Fest this evening in New Orleans.
Well, floods in western Iowa have caused many to lose not just their homes, but also valuable documents and family photographs, memorabilia. This week, FEMA, the disaster recovery team, brought in a team from the Smithsonian Institute to help people try to save some of their prized possessions.
And Roger Riley sat in on their seminar at the Fremont County Emergency Operations Center.
The flood of 2019 debris piles are everywhere. There are some things worth saving, like this woman saving her dad's vinyl records.
What I'll do, I'll hose these down and get them dried, and they'll be ready to be played.
To help people save their important stuff, FEMA brought in a team from the Smithsonian Institution to teach people how to rescue items that were covered by floodwater.
We're here with the Saving Your Family Treasures program, and we're here to teach survivors techniques that will allow them to salvage their personal items.
This team stresses one of the main things when working with flood-damaged items is safety.
When you're dealing with flooded items, especially if any sort of bacteria or microbes or that were in the water that now are on your personal items. So we recommend always wearing nitrile gloves.
One of the big areas of concern is saving family photos.
Post-1970 photos were developed in water. Therefore, it is safe for them to go back into water. The photographs that are stuck together will slowly start to come apart. If there's any debris or anything like that on your photographs, you can take just a paintbrush while they're in the water and, very gently in one direction, just sort of brush off the debris.
And just kind of let it naturally.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Everything. I lost everything.
How many?
I'd say conservatively at least 1,500.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a lot of books.
These methods work even if it's not a natural disaster.
In fact, I've got a colleague who had a pipe burst in her basement. These are techniques that she's used to salvage her personal items that were stored down there.
New tonight here at 10 o'clock for us here on KWWL News at 10. Cedar Falls City Council is saying no to that proposal from the Federal Aviation Administration to move some functions at the Waterloo Regional Airport to Des Moines.
Yeah, this comes just 3 days after the Waterloo City Council passed a resolution also opposing the move. KWWL's Colin Dorsey joins us live here in the studio tonight to tell us more.
Well, tonight's special meeting in Cedar Falls was a short one, lasting just a few minutes, but in that time, they made it clear they want the radar services at the airport to stay in Waterloo. The FAA wants to move TRACON, or radar services, out of the Waterloo Air Traffic Control Tower and let it all be handled by the airport in Des Moines. Director of Aviation at the Waterloo Regional Airport, Keith Kaspari, told the council jobs would be lost and it could spell the end of the Waterloo Control Tower altogether.
If the realignment goes through, this could be termed as potentially the first step in the forced closure or future closure of the Air Traffic Control Tower facility, leaving Waterloo with no radar or I'll say air traffic safety services.
Now, he also says Waterloo was one of 5 airports nationwide recommended by the FAA to consolidate their radar services with a larger airport. Kaspari also says after seeing resolutions like this from both Waterloo and Cedar Falls, he hopes the city of Waverly will do the same, since next to Blackhawk County, Bremer County accounts for a large part of the traffic the airport handles. Colin Dorsey, News 7, KWWL.
Colin, thank you. Now, he also says that Senator Chuck Grassley and Congresswoman Abby Finkenauer have come forward and said no to the proposal as well.
However, even though there is opposition with both Cedar Falls and Waterloo councils, the FAA still has the power to move forward with that plan if it wants to move some of those services to the Des Moines airport. Continuing coverage here tonight. Today marked the first day of actual testimony in the trial of a Waterloo man accused of murdering his girlfriend's daughter.
Chad Little is accused of killing 4-year-old Gracie Buss in May of 2015. Now, he faces 2 counts, one of first-degree murder and a second of child endangerment resulting in death. Chad Little appeared calm in court today as witnesses spoke to a variety of things, from Gracie's grandmother saying that she stopped seeing her grandchildren after Chad entered the picture. Also, the nurse who actually dialed 911 spoke as well.
Now, also shown in court today, a photograph of the stairs that Little says Gracie fell down. However, records show that Gracie's blood was found in various parts of the home, but not on the stairs.
And possibly the most memorable moment today was this brief moment of silence during a paramedic's testimony.
It's really stuck with me.
Anything about the stairs that seemed...
And the lead paramedic described Gracie's condition when he arrived at the apartment in 2015, saying her body was covered in bruises and her head was soft, indicating a skull fracture.
Now, a Dubuque woman gets probation after being accused of stealing more than $35,000 from the estate of her father. Now, the Dubuque County District Court records show that 54-year-old Molly Beneke was sentenced this Monday. She received a suspended prison term, a 5-year prison term gets suspended, and 2 to 5 years of probation, even though she had pleaded guilty to felony theft and forgery. Continuing tonight, our countdown to caucus coverage is now official. Former Vice President Joe Biden will run for president in 2020.
This comes after weeks of speculation if he would be joining or not. Now, Biden spoke briefly with reporters today as he was visiting a pizza parlor just hours after releasing a video announcing he is running for president. Regarding why he announced later than the other Democratic candidates, Biden said it's a long, long campaign.
Well, it's real early. I tell you what, the issue is going to be who, not only who can win this, but who's the best person to lead the country. And that's what it's going to be all about. And it's going to be for the voters to decide that.
And Biden is expected to visit eastern Iowa next week.
Meantime, fellow Democratic presidential candidate Senator Elizabeth Warren back in eastern Iowa today, stops in Cedar Rapids at the Lynn Phoenix Club for a meet and greet there, talking about a variety of topics again. When asked about what she would do for women if elected, here's what she had to say about that.
But can we just start with what the impact would be on women to have a woman in the White House? Actually, and can I add just one more? What it would be like to have a former public school teacher in the White House.
Now, Senator Warren also went on to talk about her plan for universal health care and how everyone would get paid a professional wage.
Well, right here is the full list of every Democrat running. According to the RealClearPolitics.com poll, as of now, Biden is leading the race with nearly 30%.
Senator Bernie Sanders running a close second in this early poll at 23%. Running third is Kamala Harris of California, about 8%. 20 people in this race already on the Democratic side. You know, in case you missed it earlier in one of our newscasts, it's a first-of-its-kind partnership, a very unique partnership between a wastewater treatment plant and a prison, teaching the inmates the art of the trade.
Yeah, the city of Anamosa starting a partnership with the state penitentiary. It teaches them how to become wastewater plant operators, which is a career field in need of new workers. The plant superintendent says it's a critical job, but it's not a field that many people are joining.
I had a pump company here working one day, and they asked about him when he's going to be released, and I told them here in a couple weeks, and they said, well, we'd like to talk to him and interview him, and they did, and they hired him.
And after 6 months at the plant, the interns can then test for different certificates that are needed. Well, and some people are already getting for summer. We're going to have the full story coming up here in just a bit on KWWL News at 10.
But right now, let's take a live look at Storm Track 7 live. Doppler radar, all that activity looked way off to the east right now. Storm Track 7 Chief Meteorologist Mark Schnackenberg has your full forecast coming up here. You're watching News 7 KWWL. We've got you covered.
Well, some people are already getting ready for summer and a Cedar Valley mainstay, Sturgis Falls.
I can't wait for that. It's always a great one. Well, tonight, the folks in charge of the Sturgis Falls celebration announced they've raised enough money to have a new big top tent, and of course for the Sturgis Falls Kids Way. The new tent's going to be bigger to give them more space for kids' activities. Organizers say it's more than just a tent. It represents years of hard work and making Sturgis Falls a great event every year.
I love this, and I've done it my entire life, and I don't know what to do with this. This has such a special place in my heart, and a special place in so many people's heart.
Now, in purchasing this new big top tent, the organizers of Sturgis Falls will no longer have to have the cost of renting a big top for the event. The new tent will be about 40 feet longer than the one they've used at Sturgis Falls for many, many years. This is an interesting story. A New Orleans teenager has been accepted to every school to which she applied for college.
Yeah, to the tune of 115 colleges and universities across the nation. Antoinette Love was offered nearly $4 million in scholarships, more than any other college-bound senior in the entire country. Now she will be visiting the schools over the next few weeks and hopes to make a decision by May. And get this, she will be the first person in her family to go to college.
Feel happy that I can go to college because they didn't, so I will be the first in my family.
And born to teenage parents, Love helped raise her 4 siblings and still managed to maintain a 3.5 grade point average while also enrolled at a community college during high school. She has been inducted into several honor societies, including the National Senior Beta Club and the National Honor Society.
All right now, let's go back to the Forecast Center and Chief Meteorologist Mark Snackenberg standing by right now.
Yeah, we had some rain and some sunshine that combined to make a pretty nice picture, and it was taken in Bellevue at the golf course there. Double rainbow, pretty shot as the rain passed on by and the sun was setting. Beautiful picture. Thank you very much for taking that photo and sending it in. As for the rainfall amounts, not a whole lot. Most locations less than 1/10 of an inch across eastern Iowa. As for the high temperatures for the day today, 50s, 60s, and 70s from north to south. Normal high about 65. As for the rain right now, it continues to track towards the east. We've got dry conditions with a clear sky. A couple of clouds, maybe a possibility, but otherwise clear out there right now as we look at our Storm Track 7 live weather network camera in Waterloo. Now, as we head into the overnight hours, mostly clear. Tomorrow, nice day. Little breezy, though, so keep that in mind. Winds could be gusting to about 30 miles an hour. So it's going to be a pretty breezy or windy day here tomorrow, even though we'll have a lot of sunshine and temperatures will be comfortable. It may feel just a touch cooler because of that wind. As we get into the day on Saturday, that's not going to be a very comfortable day to be outside. It's going to be windy, it's going to be raining, and there's going to be some snow falling in some locations. That's right, you heard me say snow falling. 47 Dubuque, 46 Cedar Rapids, 46 in Iowa City. Those are your current temperatures now, a little bit warmer back to the north and west. As we jump ahead, because tonight, tomorrow, dry, all the way through the evening hours, dry with clear sky. Here we are. Friday evening, 8 o'clock. Clouds already starting to inch on in, and we'll see mostly cloudy skies as we get towards midnight. So if you have any plans to go out tomorrow night, not a problem. Here we are at midnight, still looking dry. It won't be until about 3 o'clock. So if you're staying out after midnight, still looking good, maybe a few showers late, and it's in the form of rain. Temperatures will be warm enough in the 30s and 40s. As we get towards the morning hours, well, temperatures will start dropping a little bit. Northern counties here will probably see temperatures drop down into the lower 30s. We'll be in the mid-50s across our southern counties. So a wide range in temperatures expected here during the day on Saturday. About an inch of rain expected. Now, keep in mind, there may be some snow across our northern counties here. This is not all going to be snow, but in some cases it will be, and it will be heavy snow. I think the best chance is farther north that you live than to the south. We'll show you the forecast in a second. This is rain and snow. Now keep in mind, it's not all just snow. This is rain and snow, and in some cases it will be just snow in some spots farther to the north. This will all wind down as we get into the overnight hours and skies will clear. Again, there's a lot that will be tracking. Temperatures make a world of difference. The ground is warm. A lot of the snowfall accumulation is going to be on the grass, rooftops, cars, that kind of thing. Now, northern counties, 1 to 3 inches, it looks like at this point. Keep an eye on this. Any adjustment, we'll have to adjust the forecast. And there's no chance, a trace to maybe an inch, a possibility. Again, this is mainly going to be farther to the north, it looks like at this point. And then even farther north into Minnesota, maybe more than 3 inches of snow expected. So we're watching this very carefully. And also we could be breaking or tying, if we get any snow in Waterloo, the all-time snowiest winter. It's not over yet. Mostly clear sky tonight. Storm Track 7 forecast, 40 to 42 for the overnight low. Tomorrow, sunshine, 60s. But again, it'll be breezy, winds gusting to near 30 miles an hour. Here's your city-by-city forecast. Waterloo, Dubuque, Cedar Rapids, and Iowa City. There's your mess on Saturday. It's also going to be windy here on Saturday. Sunday, dry day, melting any of that snow that does accumulate. And then after that, well, showers expected on and off Monday through Thursday with highs in the 50s, lows in the lower 40s.
Mark, thank you very much. In addition to the NFL draft, we're going to hear tonight directly from Chicago Cubs shortstop Addison Russell. He's on assignment right now with the AAA Iowa Cubs in Des Moines.
And also, the Iowa Hawkeye teammates TJ Hawkinson and Noah Fant make NFL history. And sports director Rick Coleman will have much more on that coming up next.
Now, KWWL Sports.
A couple of Iowa Hawkeye football teammates looking to make history tonight in the first round of the NFL draft. All-Americans TJ Hawkinson and Noah Fant trying to become the first set of tight ends from the same school taken in the first round of the same NFL draft in NFL history. Well, history is made tonight. Iowa Hawkeye All-American and John Mackey Award winner TJ Hawkinson did not have to wait long to realize his childhood dream. The Detroit Lions selecting Hawkinson in the first round with the number 8 overall pick. Now, Hawkinson, who burst onto the national scene this past season in his redshirt sophomore year, led the Hawkeyes with 46 receptions, 717 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Hawkinson impressed the NFL scouts with his size, strength, and receiving skills. And tonight, Iowa's other All-American tight end, Noah Fant, looking to join Hawkinson. And it happened. 12 selections later, the Denver Broncos taking Noah Fant in the first round with the 20th overall pick. Now, Fant has been one of the top tight ends in college football the last 2 seasons, catching 39 passes for 515 yards and 7 touchdowns this past year. Now, Fant ran the fastest 40 time for tight ends at the NFL Scouting Combine. And tonight he makes history. Also, there was some serious drama before the draft about who the Arizona Cardinals would take with the first overall pick, and many originally predicted the Cards would take Oklahoma Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Kyler Murray, and new Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury. Well, he made it happen. First overall pick, Kyler Murray. He's been coveting Kyler Murray since he was a high school phenom, and he said he'd take him number 1 if he were the NFL head coach somewhere. Well, it happened. Now the Cardinals must find a place for quarterback Josh Rosen, who was taken in the first round last year by Arizona. In the majors, Addison Russell will be eligible to rejoin the Chicago Cubs on May 3rd after completing a 40-game suspension following domestic abuse allegations by his ex-wife. Right now, Russell is working his way back with a AAA assignment in Des Moines with the Iowa Cubs. Russell says he was working hard both on and off the field to get back to the Windy City.
They have a high standard for me, and as we are like right now, I think I've hit all those standards. I'm just working on myself, and then also, I have the opportunity to play out here today and just keep on working on my craft.
Right now, he will be a backup. Javier Baez is currently holding down the starting position at shortstop for the Cubs. We'll be right back.
All right, a final check of our forecast.
Looking pretty nice tomorrow, except for the wind. Winds gusting to about 30 miles an hour. Sunshine 60s. Saturday, rain, wind, and snow, and cold. Sunday's a better day.
All right, Rick, such an exciting night.
It was history making, and wow, it was great to be here.
Wow, that's right. Good night.